Hello, my name's host Eric, also known as Huesto Enrico, and today I'm here with some assembled famous peoples and host Tiffany, and we haven't assigned a topic yet. Anybody have a topic they'd like to discuss? Anybody have a topic they'd not like to discuss? They'd say, let's not talk about this topic. You want to eliminate a possible topic. You can
Force
do
it on
that
you.
too. What'd you
Oh,
say?
okay. So then we can force it on you.
I think you said I, I think you said horse something, but you didn't. What would have been a nice thing to
Um,
suggest is that we eliminate horse arsenry from the possible topics.
right back.
Do we have any horse arsons in the room? Good. You're not welcome here, horse arsons. Do we have any baby horse jokers? The ones who bring them back from being autistic. That'd be a good job. I return baby horses from a state of autism by choking them out. Okay, let's talk about. I want to talk
Oh,
about small world systems and how it might impact, I guess, not only how the link between cognition, politics, stuff like that, and the fractal organization of that stuff. You guys want to talk about that? Okay, that sounds like a resounding yes to me. So I don't know exactly what the all of the implications and traits are of this thing yet. It's just something that I came into contact with right recently, and so it's impacting my thinking about stuff in general. But I mean, it seems to fit in with a lot of stuff I think already, so it's not a big problem. But this idea that a small world system is distinct from an open system or a closed system. It's a semi-closed system. It is influenced by the outside, but not strongly, and it's influenced most by things closest to it. Now, I think it's one of those things that works at all levels of the universe. There's an implicit organizational principle that says take all the work, localize it out into independent little nodes, each which manages its own business. This principle of work division is one of a number of ways that systems might play out in the real world. So, obviously, not all systems are small world systems. Some systems are not. And we can see that in something like the lottery. That's not a small world system like Powerball, right? They're genuinely combining all of the other small world systems, like all of the other little ways that municipalities might get money through this gambling mechanism, and saying, let's make one Powerball, and everybody's going to participate in it directly. We're not gonna node you out at all. There's not nodes, right? You don't compete in your bracket in the lottery. But something like that is an incredibly simple system. The thing about small world systems is that they are systems that have reactive agency in some regard, so that the behavior of the system in response to any given stimuli is unpredictable because it's a combination of multiple variables at multiple levels of framework. So at the lowest level of framework, the things within a system don't understand what they're doing and how it impacts the system at the higher level of framework. As a general rule, anyone within a system only understands what the system's doing at their level of framework. So it depends how Well, for example, if I'm a mail sorter at a big corporation, I just got the job. The only thing I understand is what my job does inside the mailroom. I don't really understand how my job works at the next level of the corporation or the next level or anything like that. I don't understand my job's position within the structure as a whole. I just understand my position within my job. So I'm locked in my frame of reference there. I'm locked within my node level such that I can't really understand the purpose of my node. But I can understand the purpose of my node within my node. So in other words, I know what the purpose of my node is. I get a paycheck. That's why I'm working at this mailroom, because my job, the purpose of it is for me to get a paycheck. That's the level at which the mailroom person can understand purpose related to the work they're doing during the day. They understand it in terms of its personal benefit to them. They don't understand it as part of the system as a whole. And in fact, the system relies upon them seeking that personal benefit for it to work at all, right? So, the difference between a small world system and a big world system, or a closed system, or an open system, is that a small world system is like a mailroom, in that it's like a mailroom that doesn't communicate directly very much with up on top. It's got some departments nearby. It's got like the lowest level of management department right near there, and so they communicate to the rest of the system only through these other local nodes. They're deeply within node and not understanding their nature within the super system. Okay. In contrast, the CEO of the company is within his own node as well, but in contrast to the mailroom employee, his node is such that he's in charge of overseeing the structuring of nodes. So he understands what all those things are, and he knows what the mailroom guy's job is, and he knows what his own job is. He understands the whole thing, basically. So that issue is important because it's necessary for us to have optimal functioning in any system that is chaotic, which means you cannot predict it fundamentally, because stimuli doesn't produce predictable responses because there's too many variables influencing the behavioral outcomes, and because of the fact that it's localized out. So this node doesn't know what it's going to get from that node. The point is, because of these qualities that relate to this small world systems model, we need to start thinking more about politics in that fashion as well, because society is structured right now not according to that system at all. It doesn't prioritize the independence of the local nodes, knowing that only through prioritization of the independence of the local nodes can we maximize efficiency. It works within our own brain, because whose brain is less efficient? Mine. Much less efficient, because I have more long-range connections and my nodes are less developed in terms of their local node interactions. So that's what ADHD is. It's that configuration. So I have a less efficient brain in terms of processing information. It takes more power for me to process information because I'm processing it across further distances. And we need to remember that the same systems model applies to all political things. The more removed somebody has power over you is, the more it's guaranteed to de-optimize the system. Now I open the floor.
That's a good way of putting it. The power part, you can say that power is inefficiency.
The further away it gets from the node. I'm not saying that power is not necessary. Within the local node, as long as it's internode, then I mean within the node, intranode, then the power doesn't really matter because the impact of it's localized, right? Even if it's bad, it only harms that node and it doesn't spread. It doesn't have. It's at a contention level. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying that at the local node, it doesn't use as much power.
Oh,
So it's
right.
actually it's more efficient.
Right, it doesn't use as much power. Correct. Um, and the analogous thing is to say, at the local level, you have to exert less force to accomplish your goals. So,
Right. That's efficiency.
right, that's efficiency. That's efficient. Exerting less energy to accomplish your goals. So, I was really struck by this this small world systems thing. Happy I did a little research finally for once in my life. I research certain things for debate, but I don't normally just research stuff like that. So another thing I was thinking last night after I finished screaming at Hami, I was like, okay, Eric, you've got to stop fucking doing that. And I was thinking, I want to go into those kind of occasions not advocating my side, but instead just advocating for making better arguments. That's it. So, like, okay, well, not even saying, I don't want people to try to go neg on me. That's just the problem. They think they're going to go neg, and they're going to negate what I'm saying. And it's a good way to sort of start hearing their arguments, but the problem is, I want people to face a certain reality when they walk in. They go, okay, well, here's what I think. Before they say that, stop and go, wait, am I sure I actually think anything about this? I might not have any opinion about this. Because if you think you know what the answer is, but you don't know why, then you don't know what the answer is. So, for example, if you believe that, well, we need to tax people and spend money on such programs. If you don't understand clearly the real reason why that is the case for you, and what about if, well, there's a lot of times there's more than one reason, Eric. Okay, well, but here's the thing. If we take an argument like that, social programs, and you go, well, the main reason is because it helps people, or the main reason is because we have an obligation to help those people who are less fortunate, or the main reason is because of fairness, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I think it's important to remember that, yeah, there is a main reason why. And whatever that main reason is, you need to be able to articulate it. And for example, let's say it's, instead of being fairness, your main reason is it's going to help the economy for some reason. Then you have to know if that's really your main reason. Well, what if it does help the economy, but it hurts people, it hurts poor people, and in the end, it ends up hurting them? Do we still do it because it helps the economy? Oh, no, well, then we don't do it then. Okay, well, fine. That's proper. Then you prioritize a specific criterion to adjudicate the matter on, right? If you say, okay, well, it's because it helps people, then if I show you that it helps, but it'll hurt the economy, and you can show me, but it doesn't matter because it helps people, then you get to still win the point, right? Or at least under your own framework. But if you don't know why you think something, then you don't actually think anything. I don't know how else to put it. You advocate for things because you're on that team, not because you have any sort of thinking about it. Otherwise, if you did think about it, you'd have an understanding of why you say it. So I would ask everybody who comes in to argue with me to ask themselves that question. I mean, I don't care if you don't, you're still welcome to come argue with me. But if you ask yourself that question, I think you'll discover that that you don't have a lot of actual positions that you can articulate clearly as to why you hold them, except for the fact that you don't like the Republicans, or you don't like the Democrats, or I don't like that team shit. I don't like it because I'm giving specific policy recommendations, advocating specific courses of action that are irrelevant to any sort of partisan issue. It's not. I don't care what you want to label it. It doesn't matter what you label it. The point is, we need to stop doing that label-y shit because Democrats are wrong, Republicans are wrong, Libertarians are wrong. I don't want any of those fucking groups to define the agenda. We need to define the agenda one issue at a time, according to a framework that makes sense, it's consistent and logical, that actually produces good outcomes, or at least produces better outcomes than the status quo, and that we don't have to go home and take a shower because we feel so disgusted with ourselves after we pass those sort of laws, which is how it is in the status quo. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is give people better arguments or something. I don't know. I may fail. Anybody have any thoughts on this?
Man,
Okay.
I'm getting distracted. There's nowhere I can go.
Well, look, the thing is, we're experiencing a local small world systems model right here. Each of our computers is running this thing concurrently itself. Now, these small world systems are basically the same kind of systems. Maybe some of you have an Apple, I don't know. But that's...
I'm going to come in here and correct you on an IT level. There's actually a server that Citrix owns that's running this GoToMeeting room, and we're all connected to it. None of it's running on our computer. We just have a Citrix client.
Okay, well, the Citrix stuff on the server is happening on their end, but I mean, we're not. It's not like we're looking through a window at this video that's playing over there, right? Your computer's rendering it. My computer's rendering it concurrently. The pictures, they're rendering it for our viewing ability and our hearing ability and stuff like that. So each of our computers is rendering the reality according to the directions from the Citrix servers, but it's each rendering it on our own box. We're not all logged into a single place where we just, you know...
That's actually closer to us being logged into a single place, because the majority of the computational power is being done on the server, and that's why people with crappy computers can connect to this fairly well, and that's why it works so well for our community.
Okay, but I think you're missing the distinction I'm making, because
I know,
what we're
I'm
not
an
doing...
asshole.
This is what it's not. Let me explain what it's not. It's not a live feed of a camera showing all of these pictures on a Citrix computer, right? And then we're all looking at the same live feed. That would be the equivalent of what I'm saying, right? That's not how it works.
Kind of how it works on the back end.
But it's not, though. It's not even remotely how it works. It's
All
insane.
the work's being done on that computer, and we're essentially watching a live stream of it.
Okay, but listen, Tiffany, I think you're missing the point, right?
I am, and I'm doing it on purpose to be an asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. I understand that tendency. It's God's gift to us. Okay, let's stop this video and... No, you're not sorry. Nandi says you're not sorry, Tiffany. I think she's right. I think you lack sorrow. I need to see a lot more sorrow in you. Alright, I'm gonna stop this video.